Hi, this is Michelle from Woolly Rhino Crafts, and I'm going to show you how to articulate doll arms and legs using Mr. Midnight. Articulation is when the doll has parts you can move independently from other parts like joints. Mr. Midnight is articulated at his shoulders and hips. In the game Fran Bow, the Mr. Midnight doll appears to have button joints in which the button acts as what is known as the cup to hold the tension wire. I articulated my Mr. Midnight dolls using this tension technique, but then I sewed buttons over the stitches to create an illusion of traditional button joints. I don't want to info dump on you too much about articulation, so let's get started. You can find links to the full pattern in the description below. He's ready for his arms and legs. Here's his arms. And here are his legs. I like to use embroidery floss for the tension wire. I got some black so it matches. And now this scary thing, this giant pointy needle, is what's known as an upholstery needle. It makes this task much easier. First we're going to do his arms here in just a second. You want to cut a pretty good length of embroidery floss. Don't split it in any way. You want all the strands. Embroidery floss is really durable. It doesn't break. It takes a really long time for it to wear. It's great for articulation. So thread that in your giant terrifying needle. And let's get ready with his arms. One of them's trying to get away from me, but I caught it. Let me get back in the frame and let's do this. Position the first arm just below the head on the side of the body, and then insert the needle where you want the shoulder joint to be, and then go completely through the body out the other side. I'm struggling to stay in the frame as usual. Make sure everything lines up. You want the needle to go through the body kind of roughly in the same row and stitch on either side. Then add your second arm. Have the needle come out roughly where you had the needle go in on the other side. Make sure it's lined up where you want it, and then pull it on through. I'm out of frame. I'm sorry. I struggle. It's weird for me to work on this lap desk. I'm trying to get used to it because I want to make more videos. But anyway, bear with me. Thank you for your patience. I hope you get the idea about what's happening. Insert the needle again, this time into the second arm, about one single crochet over from where it came out. And then the same thing when you get to the neck area of the body, like one single crochet space over, insert it through again, and then through the first arm. Make sure everything lines up nice. Come out the other side. Ta-da! You can repeat the same process several times if you want. If the doll is going to be played with, you want to have more passes through it to make the like the tension wire, your tension floss, as durable as possible if it's going to be actually played with and handled. I just did these 2 passes for this Mr. Midnight because I just want him to be posable and he's not going to be played with like an actual toy. Remove the needle, pull the floss tight. The tighter you pull the floss before you knot it, the more his poses are going to hold. So you want to have tension. That's why it's called tension wire. See his little arms move nicely along his joints. Make sure you knot it really well. 3, 4, 5 knots. Knot it in different directions because you want that to stay. Check out his little arms. Incredible. Articulation is cool. I wish I had more reason to do it to things. The legs are exactly the same. You want a good length of your floss. thread it on your Terrifying Upholstery needle, and then you're going to position the legs kind of on the lower parts and still sides of the body. Not on the bottom of the body, but on the sides, because you want him to have hip joints, which I'll show you in just a second. Leg, get it into position kind of directly under the arms on the side. Insert the needle where you want that joint to be, and then straight through the body. Again, make sure it lines up, come out in the same place on the other side, so everything's good and symmetrical. Add the second leg. Make sure it's all lined up and pull your needle through. Then you want to head back. Again, one single crochet space will usually do the trick. Jam it on through. Sometimes the stuffing, depending on what you use, can sort of jam up this big chunky needle. And make sure you get your first leg back on, like so. Pull through. For the legs, I am going to run through one more time, just for good measure, making sure it's secure, even though this doll's just going to be posed. You can go ahead and knot it once so it doesn't come out before you go back through, because you don't want to lose your tail, because then your legs fall off. I'm out of the frame. I'm sorry, I'm just doing knots. Insert again into the same stitch where you started, and just keep running it through. Like, try to use the same stitches, because you don't want too kind of big of an area being taken up, because it messes up the joint. You don't want it to be really big, is what I'm saying. I hope that makes sense. And I again apologize that I keep slipping out of frame. This is just a strange position for me to work in. But he's got his little moving legs. And you're going to go back through again so that you can make a knot on the other side. And again, more passes through the body will make it so the joints are more durable in the event that he's going to be played with. And tighter tension on whatever you're using, your floss, makes the poses stay better. Makes it better at holding poses. My Mr. Midnights are kind of just intended to sit like so and have movable little arms that stay where I put them.